Everywhere below, fish are moving beneath the surface. And above them, the Northern Gannet is watching. This is the Northern Gannet, a seabird built for one extraordinary move. The Northern Gannet doesn't simply land on the water, it dives into it. One moment the Northern Gannet is flying normally, the next it folds its wings. The Northern Gannet can reach extraordinary speed on the way down. It becomes a living arrow. But the Northern Gannet isn't blindly falling. Its eyes are tracking the fish. Then the Northern Gannet hits the water. Under the surface, the Northern Gannet can keep moving. It doesn't just fall and hope.
That is the Northern Gannet, a bird that turns a plunge into a precision hunting technique.
But not every bird hunts from the ocean. Far from the coast, another predator is watching the ground. This is the red-tailed hawk, a powerful raptor that hunts where the prey can't hide easily. The red-tailed hawk can wait for a long time, watching everything below. Then something moves. A rabbit steps into the open. The red-tailed hawk doesn't rush. It keeps watching. Then the red-tailed hawk launches. The rabbit sees the shadow and runs. The red-tailed hawk doesn't always need to catch prey on the first attempt. That is part of being a red-tailed hawk. Watch, wait, try, and watch again. The Northern Gannet dives through the ocean. The red-tailed hawk hunts across the land. Different worlds, different weapons, but the next hunter doesn't need a high cliff. It can search the landscape while barely moving forward. This is the American kestrel. Small, colorful, and far more dangerous than its size suggests.
The American kestrel can hunt from a perch. But it has another trick.
The American kestrel can hover over one spot, watching the ground below.
Below, a small movement appears. The American kestrel sees it.
The American kestrel doesn't need to guess. It keeps the target in view.
Then the American kestrel drops.
The strike is quick. But the American kestrel isn't only a rodent hunter. American kestrels also take insects and other small animals. That small body gives them many options.
The red-tailed hawk waits for an opportunity. The American kestrel can search while it hovers. Different size, different strategy. But the American kestrel isn't the only small raptor that can hold itself almost motionless in the air. This is the black-winged kite, a slender raptor with an extraordinary way of hunting. The black-winged kite doesn't always need a perch to search for prey.
It can hover over one small patch of ground and watch.
Below, the grass moves. Something is hidden inside. The black-winged kite keeps its eyes locked on the ground. Even while the wind is moving, it can hold position.
Then the black-winged kite changes from hovering to attack.
The attack is short. The distance between sky and ground disappears in seconds.
And once again, the hunt depends on seeing what others cannot. The American kestrel hovers to find opportunity. The black-winged kite does the same thing with its own precision. But there is one more specialist. Not a grassland hunter. Not a forest hunter. A fish hunter. This is the Osprey, a raptor whose entire hunting strategy is built around fish. The Osprey doesn't simply search the shore, it searches the water. Then something changes. The Osprey stops gliding. The Osprey has found its target, a fish moving below.
Then the Osprey dives. But unlike the Northern Gannet, it doesn't simply enter the water like a missile.
The Osprey opens its talons at exactly the right moment. One strike, one grip, and the fish is out of the water. But the real advantage is in the Osprey's feet. The talons are built for holding slippery prey. This is the Osprey, a raptor whose entire hunting strategy is built around fish. 5 birds, 5 hunting worlds, and every one has found a different way to see prey. The Northern Gannet looks down through the ocean surface. The redetailed hawk looks across the land. The American kestrel takes that search into the air. The black-winged kite can do something remarkably similar. But the Osprey looks for something completely different: fish. And once the target is found, and the strategy changes. Speed can solve the problem. Precision can solve it too. But the most important weapon isn't always the fastest. It is knowing where to look. 5 specialists, 5 different answers to one ancient question. Where is the next meal?
But the Osprey isn't finished with the water.
With a fish locked in its talons, the Osprey turns into the wind. The Osprey has one more advantage. Its feet are built for this. From ocean to grassland to forest to lake, these birds all hunt in different ways. The Northern Gannet uses the depth of the ocean. The red-tailed hawk uses the open land and the advantage of height.
The American kestrel uses the wind to hold itself above the prey.
The black-winged kite does something similar, but with its own precision.
And the Osprey turns the surface of the water into its hunting ground. None of these birds needs to hunt the same way. That is the point. At first, these 5 birds may seem completely different. And they are. But look closely at how they hunt. The Northern Gannet searches from above the water. The red-tailed H-hawk searches from above the land. The American kestrel can bring the search closer to the ground. The black-winged kite uses the same basic idea with remarkable control. and the osprey takes the search over water. Then comes the moment every hunter waits for, the decision to strike. Some hunts end successfully, some don't, and that's part of the wild. Because being a predator doesn't mean winning every time. It means being ready to try again. 5 birds, 5 different habitats, and 5 completely different ways to find food. The Northern Gannet turns the ocean into its hunting ground. The redetailed hawk turns height into an advantage. The American kestrel uses the wind to stay above its prey. The black-winged kite can do the same from another open landscape. And the osprey returns to the water. The important thing isn't which bird is the best. It's which bird is best adapted to its world. An ocean needs a different hunter than a grassland, and a lake needs a different one again. From the Northern Gannet to the red-tailed hawk, the American kestrel, the black-winged kite, and the osprey, every one has its own answer. Nature doesn't make every bird hunt the same way. It gives each one a different solution, and that's what makes them extraordinary.